Oh my god, my screen's not working. What the hell? Ugh. What's weird is it's only showing me. What is this? Okay, it's my left side screen quit working. It's not detecting it, and I don't know how to do that. Anybody else know how to do that? I can't see anybody's comments. I can't see what the stream looks like. Mm. Someone explain to me how you get it to detect the monitor when it won't detect it. Go to settings, you go to system, you go to multiple displays, and you hit detect. And that sumbitch don't detect. Not detecting nothing. I ain't got no music playing because they're on the left screen. Ah, makes no sense at all to me. How about identify? Yeah, I don't know, man. It says, if you want multiple displays, you just click on detect and it's supposed to find it or whatever. But it don't find it. Like, I'll unplug this HDMI cable and it clearly loses signal because this monitor says check signal cable. Right, okay, no sweat. So let's plug it back up. And what does it do? Immediately goes black rather than showing me something. I don't know, man. It goes into power saving mode. Like, it's weird. But I can't see anybody's questions. You know what I'm saying? I can't scroll any farther. It goes graphic settings is here. It immediately goes into power saving mode. Like, I don't know. It's weird, dude. And then I saw this little thing on here that was like, oh, if you want to do it, you just click on this and you're going to go in the BIOS and everything else. I don't know how to do none of that shit. Going to no BIOS. I don't even know how that works. I don't know what BIOS means. But let's look real quick while we're on here. Maybe somebody else knows. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. Ain't you supposed to be able to do dual screen, side screens or whatever? All right, let's scroll down and at the bottom. Extend to monitor 1 and 2. Okay, let's see. Let's try that, right? Let's try that. Let's do. First, let's pull Opera back up on the big screen here. And then let's do settings. And then we'll go to display. And then we'll go to didn't detect another display. So I can't go to extend because it's not there. It's not even detecting it. Like, it's not there. Display settings. Right, I'm on display settings now. Okay, yeah, hold on. That's my fault. That I can fix. Bloop, there we go. Okay. Then see, this right here should be YouTube, but the thing is, I can't get this. I can't have both of them on the same time. I need another monitor. It's like taking me off or whatever. Just whack. Okay, so I'm in display settings. I got Windows HD color, scale, display resolution, display orientation. It says multiple displays, and it says don't detect another one. Can I assign in OBS Studio? No, I don't think so. I don't know how I would I don't know how I would assign a separate. I don't know how I would assign a separate thing. Which is weird because it was working this morning. Before I went to work, it was lit up in here, and I could see it lit up. It's interesting. Right, I'm in multiple display settings now. I see advanced display settings, but it doesn't have any options for me. Can I minimize trading view? Well, I could, but no. There you go. Can you minimize trading? I got it minimized. Everybody just bear with me a little bit. If I can get this second monitor working, that'd be great, because that way I can do more. It's a little bit easier. I got night settings. I've never had to do that before. Okay, so this is it right here. It's already captured. Okay, I can do this. Let me just move this up here. Oh, I see. It's way up here. Let me redo it. But even this isn't gonna fix that. All this is gonna do is give me a new YouTube screen up here. Okay, so this is no problem. I can do that, no problem. Done. And then I can adjust it to fit the screen. That's not a problem. The problem that I've got is every time I do this, it keeps the left-hand screen, which is where I would normally have this up, keeps going off. And I don't want that to happen. Now, that ain't a problem about getting it to show or whatever. No biggie. And then see what I do is I move this down here to under the webcam. Now the webcam's up. And I actually pull this down to here. About there. Now see, I still can't see the comments because I'd be staring at this OBS screen, and I'm not going to stare at this OBS screen. That's stupid. You just pull up this OBS to do your thing. Okay, so let me look up real quick about it. Yeah, I got the display setting thing pulled up right now. But you can't see it, I guess. It only shows one. I can't swap them. It only shows one. I found this little tutorial. Let's listen.
Hello everyone, how are you doing?
Oh my god, he's super corny.
Here with another quick tutorial. Today I'm going to show you guys how to resolve
Meanwhile,
if your Windows 10 device is not recognizing a second monitor hookup. So in this brief tutorial I'll be showing you guys how to ensure that both monitors are displayed properly on your device. So it's going to be a pretty straightforward tutorial, and
we'll get to it if it's so straightforward.
and we're going to start by opening up the start menu, and we're going to type in settings.
Okay.
The best match that comes up should say settings right above trusted Windows Store app.
Oh my god, he's one of these slow talkers.
So now in the settings window, what you want to do is left click on the system tile. Should be the first one listed here.
Oh my god.
And now underneath display, if you do not see 1 and 2, if you only see a 1 box, that means only one monitor is being detected, which most of you guys should know by now if you're coming on this video. However, if for some reason it's not showing a second one, you can left click on identify here, and it'll tell you which monitor
See, mine doesn't do that.
is displayed or which one you're currently viewing. And if you left click on the detect button, it'll try and find another one if you are currently unable to, and it should say display not detected.
Mine does none of the such, sir.
That is what we are trying to resolve in this tutorial today. So I'm going to close out of the settings window once we've determined that. And I'm going to
See, mine doesn't even go to that point.
And I'm going to type in device manager. The best match that comes up should say device manager right above control panel. So you want to left click on that. So now in the device manager window, you want to left click and expand the display adapters view by either double clicking on display adapters or left clicking on the little arrow next to it. Now there should be a display adapter listed here. You want to right click on it and then left click on update driver software. It's going to ask you how do you want to search for driver software. Left click on search automatically for updated driver software. So just be patient, this might take a moment.
Hold on a minute.
So it says the best driver software for your device is already installed. Windows has determined the driver software for your device is up to date. I'd recommend going back to the settings window and see if it can detect the second monitor at this point. If you're still experiencing problems, you can actually go online and manually download the driver software.
Oh my god.
So if you're wondering how to do that, you can actually right click on the display adapter here, and then left click on properties, and then you go underneath the driver tab at the top. It'll tell you the driver version right here.
I have no driver version.
The driver up top. In most cases, it should say NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, something along those lines. And then what you would do is manually go online and search up those drivers. So if you wanted to do a more automatic approach to that, it's very simple. We just close out a device manager. So if you opened up any web browser here as if we were going to download drivers,
I don't know, man. It doesn't seem to matter to me.
an AMD driver, and you would pretty much replicate this for whatever driver software you're looking for. But let's just say AMD is our company here.
No,
So
that's completely unhelpful. I know, right? Hey, look, man. I'm a work in progress, dude. This had this all working great the other day. I really did. So the good news is I can just swap back and forth and read comments here. Okay. And that dude's got a lisp, and it's hard to listen to people with lisps who are giving tutorials. All right, so first thing, let's just do a kind of a market update. I can edit all that shit out, by the way, so nobody ever sees it. Let's make sure we're recording well. I got all the fucking Wi-Fi now. Yes, sir. All the Wi-Fi. It's just a little market update. Bitcoin's still doing its thing, fluttering around, thinking about dropping. You know, really, it's still throwing a doji. It kind of bounced, and it's kind of getting rejected on dropping under the 21. Right there. Interestingly enough, the BTC1 and the BTC regular charts have gotten really close together on price within $1, where they were kind of separated, which is interesting. Okay. The bands are still wide, so I'm not exactly sure we're going to get the movement we want when we want it. I think it's just going to keep doing this bull crap. And I think we got another drop coming. I don't see it breaking that resistance line. Not anytime soon, anyway. All right, so I guess what we need to talk about first is what Hope did, which was made a stupid good trade. And when she made this stupid good trade, she kind of explained how she was doing it. And it worked out really well. So I kind of want to go through what she did. So, all right. The best way to describe it, how she did it. She took a. Let's just go to Binance Coin because that's what she did it on. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Hope, because I want to make sure I get it right. I got Binance Coin right there. I want to erase a bunch of this stuff so we got a nice clean view of it. I can always put these back. All right, so she bought in right over top of this resistance line, but she was looking at the 5-minute charts. So essentially, we'll pull up 5-minute charts too, just for giggles, because everybody likes 5-minute charts. I'm going to pull these indicators off so it looks a little cleaner. There we go. So, all right, she bought in over here. Tell me exactly where you bought in again at, Hope. I think it was, what was the price you told me? 246? Is that what you said? Where you bought it? On a 5-minute chart? But as you see, I mean, we went up and we smacked that thing dead on the money at 32. And that's when she got out. It automatically clipped her out and gave her profits. And she did 50x leverage. So when she did 50x leverage, it took her sky high. So if we look at the 5-minute charts, which I rarely do, but if you're doing futures, hey man, this is part of the game. You got to play the game if you want to win. How would I have looked at this? So I would have wanted to buy this down here. How would I have looked at this? So the RSI right here was stupid low. At the same time, this MACD was pretty low. And the money line is just no good for futures. It's more of a broad indicator. So I'm going to take that off so I don't even see it anymore. And I'm going to go with the stock RSI, I think, because it's more of a short-term, herky-jerky kind of indicator. Oh, didn't mean to draw there. All right, so she says I got in at like 26.44, right? But it was 20x. Give me that wrench. No, ma'am, you have to ask nicely. Yep. Everybody in here who's in the group, everybody in the $2 crew gets a wrench. That's just the way it works. Let's see. Buy time 9:45. That's a much better way of saying it. 9:45. Okay. 26.44 at 9:45, which would be 267, 24. She said 2644. That's right. 2644. Up here, 25. 2644. That's where she bought. Okay, let's put a line there. Up here. All right, she bought up here. So, in hindsight, kind of looks like that was a bad place to buy based on indicators, but it worked out really well for her on futures. Now, let's see if we can find. That was at 9:45 when she made that, right Well, 8:45. Okay, yeah, it'd be an hour different. So, All right. I've been oversold. I'm overbought. It's overbought there. Maybe 9:50. That's AM, right, Hope? Not PM? Because here, right here's 8:45, 8:50, and that's 2644. If that's right, then we're here. Let's put a line on our RSI at 40. Because look at how we got a triple tap right here. We got a triple tap. I'm going to try to tie all this together. A triple tap on the 40. That was the worst circle ever in the history of man. In the history of non-binary people, sorry. Triple tap right there. Bam, bam, bam. We held our trend. Looks like we got a dip in the MACD right here. Looks like our stock RSI was low right here. All together at the same time. Exit time 2030 for stop loss. It was 2642. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, either way. What she's looking at is basically a 12-hour time frame with the 5-minute fractal, using the 5-minute fractal on a 12-hour time frame and trying to time it buying the bottom and buying the bottom of a 12-hour time frame. When the 12-hour time frame does a down, she's trying to see the 5-minute time frame do the same thing and then capture that and then ride that back up in the same style that the 12-hour time frame would look, but the 5-hour time frame length. And wherever that takes her, that's where it takes her. I think I explained that correctly. But let's see if we can do a split screen here, and we'll do Binance Coin on this. We'll do Binance Coin on this side too, and we can kind of compare the two. Hey, Hope, are you using Binance? Are you using the Trading View, or are you still using the Binance charts? Because something I noticed was that the Binance charts are in linear. And that makes it super complicated to try to chart because you got one in linear and one not. Let's see. All this was in the same candle over here. All right. Let's pull it back over here. So right in here is all this candle. This one green candle here. Right here. So what I see over here is I see a fib retracement set from the bottom up. Okay. They ran a perfect 1618. We've already discussed that. Make sure I got this right. Right, okay. All right, so the 5-minute fractal. Look how accurate that is to what this 12-hour did. Okay, you see this from here to here. Look at that from here to here. Look how accurate that is. Right? It's the same thing in the same move, and it actually repeated it over and over and over again. Now down here, where would that be at over here on this 5-minute chart? Let's see if we can find that spot. No, not yet. I want to see if I can find the bottom of that 12-hour. The cursors will line up one side to the next. Once I get it squared away here. Almost. Yeah, look how far down that was. My goodness. So that'd have been almost impossible to catch. That was a 12-hour bounce off the 200 right there. Man, that'd have been the spot to catch that shit right there, wouldn't it? Goodness gracious. let's see if that lines up with the daily. What did the daily look at that same time? Okay. So in between the 2 days is when this thing really bottomed out the hardest. All the indicators hit the floor. Look how far the MACD went down. Stock RSI went way down. Okay, so that leads me to believe that when we see the 5-minute chart go way down and the daily chart go way down, that we can combine the two and we can see the 5-minute movement on a 12-hour chart and try to figure out the best in and out based on what a 5-minute chart does. Because it did this really gnarly move right here. This really wicked pop-up right here. But that didn't get copied anywhere else. So I see a triple bottom and a go. See that triple bottom and a go? It made an inverse head and shoulders right here. 3 taps. You look for 3 taps. A lot of stock guys look for that triple tap. It's a good sign. This was only a double here. That's where she bought in here. And she wrote it all the way up to 32. Perfectly. So I don't think you missed the entry, Hope, but I think we're just a little late on it. Because you could have got this dip right here on the daily where it came down and retraced. It got rejected at the 886 and dipped down and caught support. Man, that'd have been the perfect spot to buy, and that's just almost directly on where that 5-minute chart bottomed out right there. So when we see the 12-hour bottom out and the 5-minute bottom out, then you can kind of expect, because here to here, this move right here is the same thing as this over here. Now this is fractal comparisons, which you're not supposed to do for main trading, but for futures is totally different. I mean, futures are looking to make money and go. I mean, it's got the same move. It's got a double bottom. It comes up and hits a hump. It comes up and hits a hump, and then it peaks one more time. Now, according to this 5-minute chart, we're going to dip down right here. We're going to dip down right here, and we're going to come back up again and try. That's possible, but that would need Bitcoin to make a move. And Bitcoin hasn't made a move. Okay. All right. Would that bounce have occurred at 7 o'clock a.m. or p.m., Hope? This is creeping me out right now how similar that was. Yeah, I should have got in at 1900-ish, mirrored the 7 o'clock peak. So the test and bounce on the 12 shows a strength. So you're trying to catch that surge on the 5-minute. Correct. And I'm more so looking for the 5-minute. I'm more so looking for the 5-minute to bottom out. And maybe do a double tap on the bottom, a double or a triple. If I can see it do a double or a triple, then I know it's going to reverse itself and get moving again. And I did a double here. I would really like to see 3. And I say that because a lot of stock guys who do options, I talked to some people about it, and they all do looking for those double bottoms and stuff like that. Double bottoms and triple bottoms, triple taps on a resistance line or a support line, and that's their signal, either get out or get in. Doesn't really matter which way you want to go about it. It's the same. It's the same move either way. They're looking for that, and when they see it, they go, "Aha, that's the move I wanted to see." Okay, so all right. Okay, so let's see. There's a C7. September 11th at 4:15 would have been the optimal time, or September 11th at almost noon, Hope, would have been the perfect time. Almost noon. But you know what? That would put it on a 12-hour clock, wouldn't it? Noon to noon? So what's the next 12 hours look like? 24. Okay, man, check this shit out, y'all. Okay, just for future's sake. This is the next day. This is this is the, let's see, this is the 12 o'clock right here, right? Okay. So this is noon on 9/11, and this is midnight. Oh, let me go back to, this is midnight. I moved this, I put the circle in the wrong place. Sorry. Right there. Right, got that? So from this point here, come on, arrows, let me down. To this point here was 1 day, or no, 12 hours. It was a 12-hour chart, and it peaked out. You look right here, RSI, oversold, overbought. Overbought RSI. It was oversold down here, overbought right here. This is a perfect move. 12 hours. Let's look and see if it's got 8 EMA. Oh, look, it rode the 8. It rode the 8 all the way up. Look at that, y'all. My goodness. Oh, man. Okay, so this is extremely helpful. Let's do the next 12 hours. All right. She sold on at 10:30 on September 14th. I think it was 10:30, right? Yeah. Okay, this makes sense. 24-hour mirror versus real time, 36-hour being the mirror. Sense in terms of fractal because of locations, right? Okay, so for sure it was 2030. That would be that'd be 8:30 when you got out. 10:30, no, 10:30. Okay, so that'd be 22:30. Okay, 22:30 is when you got out. 22:30 on September 4th. No, you did this one. The 32 hit was the one you got out on. Okay, I remember that. Okay. So the next 12 hours after this was September 12th till noon. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, the next move was from here. Unacceptable arrows. Come on, man. I know it's not my mouse, bro. She would have waited for it to drop. It never really dropped. It came down and never really. See, I would have had a hard time buying this one, but you stayed in. So you stayed in. This one got overbought right here and dropped. But it did stay above 40 all the way to over here, which was a full day cycle. On the full day, it finally come down here and peaked at the bottom. Broke resistance right here. This pink line is resistance. It broke it and got up over it, held it, and broke another resistance line. Man, this was a hell of a run here. So this is the, God damn it, piece of shit. Come on. There we go. This is the next run here. One 12-hour cycle. And the next 12-hour cycle. See, we only just got through one candle. Man, that's wild. You were in this thing for a hot fucking minute. Okay, and then next 12-hour cycle. 23, 24. What we're seeing here is for sure $12-hour cycles. You can see it in the chart. Every 12 hours it's doing something. Okay, and then 7, 8, 9. Okay, so here's where it got nasty. Look. See, this is where the daily target would have come into play, because we're looking for it to peak out at 32, and it did. It went directly to 32 and stopped. But that only took how much time? That only took 3 hours. Okay, so this is where it gets tricky. The 12-hour cyclical thing worked until it got to the point where it was time to get out. And then it moved sideways. From this point over, for the rest of the day, it just moved sideways. Now, it tried to break again, but I had already told you the target at that point, and you had already got out. Okay, see, now this is the thing. That's what I was curious of. If we're going to find one of these that are going to go, and we're going to use 12-hour cycles with a 5-minute chart, at what point does the daily come into play? And I think it comes into play once we hit our certain targets. Once we start hitting our targets, it's like, all right, I've hit my target. Now what? And the chart starts moving sideways. For instance, like it did down here. You hit this target and it moves sideways. You could have actually got out and let it do this crap and then got back in again, and it would have went up some more from here to here. You could have almost broken it down into 8-hour cycles. Okay? Instead of 12 hours. It could have been 8 hours. Because we wasted time right here with it trying to break resistance. When it hit resistance, this is why the resistance lines would have been important. When it hit resistance, that would have been the time to get out and let it ride inside of it. And then once it broke, you can get in it and go back up to the next point, and you're back into your 12-hour cycles again. Hit another one, and it rode sideways again. And then once it finally got over that red monthly, that's when it really popped. It took off. Now, it did test back down here again, but you were already out at that point. And then it just moved dead sideways. Moved dead sideways. Sideways, sideways, sideways. So that's an interesting perspective. 24-hour mirrors versus real time. 36-hour being the mirror. Okay, I'll look at that too. Okay, I guess it held on the 8. Then it's still the green light. Correct, Darth. That's another thing. Do you see what he's saying, Hope? Do you use the 8 and the 21? The whole time it held the 8 was the time to be in there. I mean, it pretty much stayed over the 21, really. Look, the 5-minute chart stayed over the 21 the entire time. Well, right here it fluttered it. Right, like I said, that resistance line that it hit, once it went under that resistance line, that was when you got out. And it did flutter right here too. It went under the resistance line, but this is the buy-in point, right? Yeah, this is the buy-in when she bought. So, yeah, okay. I get it. Pretty much the 8 and the 21 was what stuck with it. Okay, so, but able to hold the 24, switching 24 trend around 36 hour. Yes, this is where we can avoid time wasted. Similar trend pattern in day trading too, learning to use them. Yeah, okay, Hope. So essentially what you're saying is what we're saying about the 8 and the 21, the way the 8 and the 21 works. I don't want that to keep popping down there like that, but like, see, it doesn't show my damn YouTube thing now. Whack. Whack. Doesn't show my YouTube comments up there. I just got to work on this screen. It's super bothering me that it's not working the way I want it to. You know what I mean? I'm just annoyed by it. I like for shit to work. So the 8 and the 21, I've got a whole video on it. It's pretty simple. Over the 8 is a buy. You want to wait for confirmation with one candle. Once you get that one candle, you ride it. Okay. In between the 8 and the 21 is a no-go zone. No buy, no sell. Under the 21 is a sell. And once it stays under the 21, you keep it under there and wait. You don't buy until it crosses back over the 8 again. If it's under the 21, you can actually run a short. You can sell it. And what will happen is once the 8 crosses downward through the 21, That's when we get a sell pattern, like right here, okay? I'll show you right here. This is a 8 and a 21 bear cross. Okay, right here, when this 8 cuts through the 21, we get a down pattern. When we get this down pattern, we find the indicators where they bottom out, just like this stock RSI did right here. MACD come down. Let's add in the RSI. Where's it at? Let's see. Get rid of this. Indicators. RSI, where you at? There it is. Okay, yeah. All right, we broke under the 40 right there. That's a little spooky. Let me get my erase tool there. I don't want to see red lines for no reason. Yeah, see, this was a little spooky right here. Right there. So we dipped under the 40. We came down here and caught this this 200 though. When we caught this 200, that was support. We could have watched right here, just seen what happened. It immediately rejected off of that and popped back up, and that's reflected in the stock RSI and the MACD popping back up and the RSI getting back up over 40. The 40 line on the RSI is the action line, okay? You want to see your action over the 40 for bull moves and under the 40 for bear moves, no matter what. And you can reflect that over here to this chart on the 5 minute. Now I'm going to erase this one on the right just to show you this. But when we're over the RSI 40 right here, let me erase this and erase this one. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. All this right here is over the RSI 40 line, okay? This is all upward trading. Now I know it's twitchy in and out, in and out. That's fine. That's nominal trading. You don't worry about that. When you see these peaks like this, you're looking to sell. Every time you see a peak like this, you're looking to sell. And every time you see it drop back down and head to the 40 line, you're looking to see if it bounces off this 40. If it bounces off the 40, you can buy again. And you can buy again. Now, it's not 1,000% foolproof. You need to add in other indicators, because what will happen is it'll come down here and bounce off this 40 and then dip like it did right here. And that's fine, because when you see them dip like this, you're looking to buy anyway. Okay? You reflect that over to the chart. You had this nasty dip. You got over the 40, you bought it. You ride it up. It's over the 8, it's over the 8, it's over the 8. It dipped down here, but it never broke the 40, okay? It stayed over. And it come right back up. Didn't quite get into the white zone where you would sell, so you stayed in. It dipped down, but never broke the 40. Got back up here. Still riding the 8 up here. Follow the cursor. Still riding the 8. Still riding the 8. Riding the 21. Bam, back up over again. I mean, that's customary 821 action. This is why it's the #1 indicator that I teach after resistance lines and moving averages, okay? It's the first buy-sell indicator that I teach. If you don't, you're the 8's the fastest moving exponential moving average that's most consistent. So when you cross the 8 and you hold it, that's usually a good buy sign. Now you add in other indicators. You know, how far high are you? Are you way up there? Well, it might be a fake out, so be careful. But if your chart's low and you get an 8 cross and you get a confirmation, well, that's a buy sign. You can also throw that in on the 5 minute charts too. And we can fine tune this a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's see. Notice same trends in stocks. Got in on MSI today for Green Day. Yep. Tight butthole spooky. Huh? Shark crossing. Makes sense. How does the money line look, Professor? You talking about on the 5 minute? That's what I was saying about 5 minutes. I'm not sure that the 5 minute chart is going to be reflective of what we want to see. But let's pull it up and see, okay? Let's get the stock RSI off. And let's pull up our money line. Hope if you don't have any of these, which I'm pretty sure you don't, you're going to get TradingView, and you're actually going to buy it instead of not. These scripts were written by some of the members in the group. They wrote the code, the source code for these scripts. They give us indicators that were made custom for us, which is fucking awesome. But the money line was a gift from Mullet, who's gone now. But the money line is basically a little bit of a longer term trend identifier. Over the bands basically is what you're looking for, is the green line across the bands, and you want it to stay over. As long as the green line stays over the bands, you stay in the trade. If it goes into the bands, that's fine. You just don't want it to go under. Once it goes under, you get out. Okay? It's like a trend identifier. As we see here, let's see. We had a bought down here on this really far down dip. By this dip, and it started moving up. That would be this dip right here. It crossed over. You'd have bought. Once it crossed the 8, you'd have bought. The money line was up, 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 up. You know, it did get overbought right here, and it sold off. But it never broke 40. Never broke the 21. It did break the 21 just momentarily over here, and that money line started peeking down. That probably would have spooked me and made me get out. But we did have moving averages under there too, so that's another advantage. We flopped over the moving averages at this point onto the top. They're all support now, and from there we rode all the way up. So if we can find a spot where we've got an 8 confirmation, we're over the moving averages, and we see the 5-minute bottom out and the 12-hour bottom out, we got to buy. And I would also put that on the inverse. We see the 12-hour max out, and we see the 5-minute max out. We can short. Okay? It's the same thing. It's the same principle. So right here you see, delete this box so we can see a little better. But right here, we had an 8 and 21 bear cross. And then look, once it happened right here, this thing was oversold. Overbought, I mean. 8 and 21 bear cross. From there, it was smooth sailing straight down. And it didn't stop. It kept going. Look how high the MACD got right here. Look how high it got over here. When you see the MACD go this high, oh man, you know that bitch is going to come back down to earth. Look how high that MACD was. So you would have sold back here anyway, where you sold, and you'd have got out and waited. It peaked and dumped, but hey, whatever. You saw this MACD was sky-ass high. It come down here like this and dipped and crossed and started to come up. You probably would have rebought, made a little bit. As soon as it bear crossed, you're out. And once it bear crossed, it stayed under. It fought a little bit. Now all the moving averages are fighting against this. They're over top. It fought against. It rode down. It rode down. It rode down. Still riding down. It tried to cross some of these moving averages here. Got stuck under the 200, the most important line. The 200. Got stuck underneath. And it's still stuck underneath now. As you see. And the good news is we hit these oversold zones here. And you bought, I think, this already. You bought the oversold area, which is great. You always buy these white zones down here. That's the place to buy the white zones. And you ride them up. When you got to find a way out, that's the thing. So that's where it gets tricky. When we see a big spread on this MACD like this between the blue and the orange, you can pretty typically expect it to come back together some. They never get too far apart. When they get way far apart like that, you can expect it to stop. That would have given you a signal right here that this moving average is going to hold you up. But the big move here would have been to short this the whole way down, because that's a lot of percent down. You'd have been almost the same amount percent down that you came up and doubled your money. That makes sense. But if we can use the 821 and reflect it back to times somehow. Oh, you already have TradingView Pro. Okay. Okay, we can widen those bands in the moneyline script and extend out to 21 EMA and 5-minute charts for future scalping. I didn't think about that. Like setting it up differently in the indicator so that, okay, that's a good idea. And you mean make it stay inside the bands, Darth, rather than go out of them? That makes sense. Because, right, he liked to trade daily. He didn't ever fuck with anything but daily. That makes sense. Okay. Well, let's tinker a little bit real quick. What say you? I'm down to mess with shit. Let's go to the scripts here. Okay, so right now, what do we've got? Let's see if we can tinker with this and change the bands around. All right, length I've got 16, input of 0.8. What if I change this to 8? What happens then? Ooh, way wider. Look at that. Ooh, that's interesting, Darth. Because now look, essentially this thing is never broken. Oh shit. Let me minimize this. Yeah, look, it never broke the bands. It never broke out of them. That's a little bit too wide, isn't it? So that's never coming out of them. That's staying in the whole time. All it's doing is peaking and falling. So let's do 4. About that. What will that say? If I do 4. Still too much. It's still never coming out of the bands. Okay, well that didn't work. What about 1? Or no, 2. We'll do 2. Save. Okay, yeah, now they're starting to come out of the band some. All right. Okay, what do we do? 4. And then we change this to 8. Change our input to 8 and our bands to 4. What would happen then? Okay, so similar action still. Still inside the bands. Didn't really help. Okay, so if we do 4 and then we do 32 here. I'm going to keep playing around with this until we come up with something that's a little different. And worst case happens is I just put it back to where it was. Okay, yeah, we got some action breakouts here. Let me minimize that. Yeah, like you were saying, that the 5-minute chart is so sensitive that it's hard to call sometimes. Still didn't break out though. See that? Let's bump this up to 64. On the input. And then we'll save it. See if that changes. Okay. Help any? No, didn't really do anything. Okay, let's put the bands back and let's see if we can change the money action line. How about that? We'll do 16 and we'll do 0.8. And then, okay, so the calculations are an average of closes on the 2, 3, 5, and 7 EMAs. Well, I don't know how we would change that. See, this is where we need Easy in here because he's the freaking code master. All right. What's up, Darren, brother? We're going through how to mirror the 5 minute on the 12 hour for futures. Okay. So correct, Hope. That's what we're trying to kind of change around a little bit. Because the money line it's not as sensitive, it's more of a slow mover. So if we can have a slow mover that goes with the super sensitive 5 minute charts, then we would have the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? I've accidentally put an alarm on. Delete, yes. Okay. So what we got, if we just use the money line like it is now, when we see a break south like this would be on a 5 minute chart, it would be a buy. Every time it breaks south. Yeah, see, that would have been a buy. 1850. That would have been a buy. And a break over would have been a sell. See that? That would have been a sell. Now you'd have lost a little bit right here. But you could have watched this. Yeah, look, see, okay. Here's something interesting. Okay. Just said that, but I'm going to go over one more time. Every time the money line peaks under on a 5 minute chart, right here, those were buy opportunities. Right here. See how it peaked under the bands a little bit? Every time it peaked under the bands, it made a move up. Peaked under the bands, made a move up. And then when it got over the bands, it seems like it was time to sell. So we need to make these bands more narrow, not wider. That's what we need to do. Make them more narrow. That's too narrow. Let's do maybe a 12. Okay. Now the same points that were that's a little too tight also. About 14. I'm just trying to fine tune here. I'll keep tinkering until we get it down to a better time. And okay, now this one looks pretty good because oh, looky here. Okay. So a buy would have been here when it dipped down. At the same time it got near the 40 line, the money line dipped under and would have told us to buy on a 5 minute, and we would have rode it up to a point to sell. Okay. At the same time, the RSI peaked out right here. Gave it one more gung-ho college try, and then it finally got up there to the point where we're going to sell at because our daily fibs were there. So this might be an interesting way to do it. Change your bands to 14 instead of 16 on the 5 minute charts. And then you can run futures a little better. because it gives you a little better view. A little better view. That's tough though. I kind of don't trust that yet. I need to do some more research on that. Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really tight. It's really, really tight. I definitely see the benefits of what you're saying. It doesn't matter. I definitely see the benefits of what you're saying. So if we can take what you're saying and apply it, like hopefully I don't have to do much tomorrow. If I don't have to beta test, right? If I don't have to do much tomorrow, I'll just do this all day and I'll run futures. I don't have Wi-Fi at that place I'll be. I have to do friggin' tether into my phone. But that's fine. I can sit there and chart it. I just won't run any trades. It drops out too much for me to run any trades. Super sucks like that. But I can still try it. So anyway, now that we've went over that, I'm gonna definitely dig into this some more. Oh, you said one more thing. You said the 24 and the 36 hour, right? So the 1 day. All right. 1 day. We'll split it. And over here, we will do, I probably got to add a time. Hours. 36. And add, you heifer. Won't add it. That shit off my screen. Did it add it over here? I don't want it over there. I want it over here. Oh, hour. It didn't add it. Hours. 36. Man, what trash. It won't let me do 36 hours. I'm going to do 1.5. Nope. Won't let me do that either. I can't do 36 hours. Yeah, okay, what you just said. Use $1 for trades. This way you don't risk losing much. You just do a damn dollar. A damn dollar. No big deal. It'll work out better that way. Well, I wish I could do a damn... I guess I could do 3 candles, but that's really shitty. I don't want to do that. It seems the only one will let me do... What if I do 2 day and 1 day? Not really much difference. I don't know about that one either. That one's tough. That one's tough. All right, well, we'll stop talking about futures for just a little bit because I know not everybody's doing it. Okay? We'll just go back to doing a little market update here, and I want everybody to quit freaking out. Everything's going to be all right. Nobody's going to die. Let me change my money line back to 16 real quick because I like to keep it up here. One of my favorite indicators. All right. So, I know everybody's panicking and getting mad and they're tired of waiting and shit. You're not really panicking. You're just tired of waiting. Everybody's tired of waiting. And I get it. And I'm sorry. I'm tired of waiting too, y'all. But I would rather not lose money. And this is clearly not getting us anywhere fast panicking, okay? We're throwing a doji right now on the daily. It's like we're stuck under resistance at S1. The pivot slide right here. We're stuck under that. We'll get these boxes out of the way. We don't need them anymore. We hit the 50 line and we bounced off of it. Our money line is breaking into the band, so that's good. But really, you wouldn't buy in the bands. On the daily chart, you would wait for this to break the bands, and then you would buy. That's the way the money line works. It slows you down a little bit. The MACD is green, but we are in the bearish territory. So again, this isn't really the time to buy. You would want this to come up here and cross the midline first before you would buy. Now the RSI is over 40. It isn't like donkey dick slapping the top or anything, but it's over 40. So that's good. Let's look at our 8 and 21 and bands. All right, so we've broken the 8, got confirmation. That's good. That means up. We're over the 21. That means up. Looks like we're getting ready to have this 821 cross. This 821 cross would be a bullish cross. This would be something that you would buy. This is not what we want to see, right? We're waiting on this damn gap to close. Now the other thing, you see I have this pennant drawn. And there's another high probability that this thing just keeps going sideways and hits this pivot, hits this trend line, and then drops. We've seen multiple other coins do it. It's drawing a beautiful pennant right now. This blue line on the bottom goes way back. Look how far back that blue line goes. A long ass way. Okay? It may very well stay inside this pennant and do its thing. It's got to break this resistance line right here at 10.8. And I bet you that resistance line goes way back. Of course, I just moved it. I'm going to hit the back button and fix that. There we go. So I hate to tell you that's going to go because I don't think it is. I think it's got to break this line at 10.8, hold it, and then it can try the moving average at the 50 moving average there. But it still haven't even broken that. Moving averages are flattening, and it's not got much price action. That tends to mean down. Okay, that's just the way it works. Every day we take a little longer. This 200 moving average is getting a little higher and a little higher and a little higher. I almost feel like this 200 is going to get right here at the support line, and it's going to come down here and test it. I almost feel like that's going to happen. That may take several more days, and that's going to suck. Time frame wise, it's going to piss everybody off, and I'm sorry, but there's not anything we can do about it. The entire market turned red with Bitcoin going down 1%. That's spooky because it barely moved, but it freaked all these other coins out enough to make them stop. Some of our big hitters here. Oh, I added one Harmony to the list after talking to Dustin today about One Harmony. There we go. One Harmony has a very good looking chart. I'll show you what I mean here. That's it. Now, I know it doesn't look like much, and it kind of looks like CRV before it dumped. And I get it. But this one actually has some monthly support. Okay? This is something that CRV didn't have. Plus, One Harmony isn't a DeFi coin. Shit coins, you take chances on. I'm sorry. It's the way it works. I put some in it too. You know what? You don't win them all. Mike Tyson even got his ass whooped sometimes. But that's it. You know, we've been measuring back to June. That's all that's there is June. So there's nothing more to measure. So once it makes this move of 2,800%, and there's no other resistance on the month, we could put one line in here, right? Be nice and put a line right there. There's no other. That's it. Once it breaks that, dude, it's free to go. It's moving with Bitcoin. And we've got that's 2,800% available right here. And then we're going to have a retrace. And then it's going to go again. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to put some in One Harmony here. And once this does its move, I'll just pull it out and put it in something that hasn't moved as much. Because, some of these other coins we have we've found out that some of these other coins don't have as much. They have the percentage, they just have more resistance, and they're not going to move as fast. So that's why I say One Harmony needs to go on the list. No resistance and a decent amount of return. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, that would be a one. That would be a one. Okay. Yeah, bot can trade 5 minute time frames. Absolutely, Darth. Hey, what's up, Rug, brother? Hey, bear with me on the messages, man. My left screen quit working, and I'm gonna after I get off this stream, I'm gonna try like putting in new drivers and stuff. Maybe that'll work. I don't know, but it's supposed to automatically detect the screen, only it's not. So I usually have two screens up with the whole YouTube screen on the left, so that I can, excuse me, so that I can easily flip through and see better. But it won't work, so it's super annoying. And as a matter of fact, let me just while I'm here, I'll pull this screen out a little wider because this YouTube one isn't working as good as I would like it to either. There we go. That's a little better. All right, so panic apply. Yeah, it accomplishes absolutely nothing. Panicking. I know there's people are just pissed off because they want to make some money and no one can. It's super frustrating. I get it. 60 hour. I'll do that. Hope. Let's see. One held a strong channel for a while until it broke down. I know. But if you look at that right there, that monthly chart you're looking at right now, it hasn't retraced ever before on a monthly, and it's finally doing it. So it could go all the way down there to that support line. It doesn't have to, but it could. And if it does, that's just ball game, right? Oh no, brother, listen. Please, I openly said all the time, ask all the questions you want. I don't give a shit what the questions are. I don't care. I'll answer them. I just have to flip the screen back and forth a little bit here. As I'm flipping the screen back and forth, it just kind of takes me a second to look at the questions, but I can get to them. It doesn't make shit to me. No big deal. Please ask. Please ask. Because if there's something you want to know, I can tell you. And if there's something that you know that you can tell me, I'll be happy to look at it. Let's see if it'll. Okay, let's see. You said 60 hour. Okay, that's. Let me see if it'll do. Let me see if it'll let me do 60 hour. That would be 2.5 days. Yeah, that'd be 2.5 days. Let me see if it'll let me add that. Hours. 60. Nope, no mas. No mas. The reason I'm a little sketched on fractals is because a lot of us that are in here come from awful fractal reading, and that's what got us a lot of losses. So I've learned that fractals only work on coins of themselves. And in that, they still aren't accurate if you take it from one time frame to the next. You can get the idea, but you have to add in more indicators than just the fractal and look at just the fractal and say this is going to work. It doesn't work like that. You have to take part of the fractal that you see and look at where it was before. Was it under or over resistance or support? Then you take that piece of fractal and you move it to the same type of situation that it was in, back either under resistance or over support. And from there you can say, okay, I see this doing this. Otherwise, the fractal's an incorrect read. All right. Now, if it's futures, is different, so don't sweat it. But from big trading, especially trying to find a trend to figure out where you're going and stuff, you can't do it. This is what I've learned asking other people about fractals. I actually talked to a dude online who's thinking about joining the group, but he hasn't yet. He's a little odd. He's kind of an odd dude. He's been emailing me. Who emails back and forth? We have text messaging, but he emails me back and forth. So the guy's like, I'm interested in learning what you're teaching. He said, because I do a different type. And I was like, what do you do? And he started mentioning that he uses cyclical fractals. And I was like, oh, God. But then he kind of explained it a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, a cyclical fractal does like this. And then he said, you can do this, only it has to be like this. And then even after you do it like this, you want to take it another farther step. You want to go, okay, I see this. After this, then what happens? These indicators say this. That's accurate fractal reading. Not just sticking it on there and saying, is it going to go? No, it's not Chris. What was his name? Blake or... I don't know. Hang on. Brock. His name was Brock. So, also I work with a guy named Matt, and he's super smart. He's probably better at heat and air than I am. He's a little bit more detail oriented than I am. I'm more of a get it done kind of person. He's just more of a detail guy. But he's in on crypto too, and he's been showing some interest in learning. Only he doesn't have a lot of time. He's got a busy life. So he's been talking about joining too, and I explained to him that we have a group that does this together now. So it's not just me doing it. And even though I'm teaching y'all stuff, y'all are teaching me stuff. This is the way it works, okay? Anyway, he's talking about joining. So if he does, I mean, Mullet doesn't seem like he's coming back. So we have another spot there. And I haven't seen Peasant in a month. He came on Telegram, but he didn't say anything to me. So I kind of feel like he's out too. I'm not sure. So, let's look at some other stuff. I want to try to find some positives. A positive is ENQ here is starting to flutter out a little bit, which makes me want to think I need to take some of my profits, but none of these indicators are maxed out yet. So I'm not gonna. But man, I've been thinking about it, y'all. I know it's a shit coin. I'm supposed to leave it alone. And I've got targets set. I know. But man, it's really struggling here. Now, if it gets going, hey, I'm tickled. But it just seems like it's fighting itself and doesn't really want to, it just doesn't really want to go. Yeah, if it would just get up and go, I'd be pretty happy. Get to its point and I can make a decision from there. Because I just got this feeling like Bitcoin is going to drag everything down with it. And I don't want to be a part of that. So, I don't know, man. I'm a little leery on it. I'm not sure yet. But ENQ is a positive. I'm up. How many percent on this? Right at 100%. Doing well. I was up 220 something percent. So, thing is, it's a shit coin. The liquidity is terrible. It's on KuCoin. If you want to get in on it, don't put much in on it any more than you're not willing to lose, because these are shit coins and there's no guarantee, okay? You took 75% out of ENQ? Okay. I see you. I don't hate that, because that one big candle right there was kind of spooky. It's got some more lines up here that are perfectly in time with the fibs, so maybe I'll just let it sit. Worst case Ontario is it pulls back down here to the pivot line and I can get out again at 75% profit, 80% profit, if I really want to. Some of these other shit coins I'm down on. Yeah, whatever. CRV has been one of the worst coins I've ever bought. Another fella told me not to buy this, and I did it anyway. Fucking DeFi coins, man. I should have stayed out. And I told everybody to buy some of this. It makes me feel like shit. But when I bought it, it was down here and it made this hook up like it was going to go. There's fucking no resistance here at all. Well, then go. And it didn't. This is where I learned that ICOs, when these new coins come in, you don't really have a guarantee. You need to kind of wait it out. We all saw YFI take off, and that made me think, God, this was going to do it too. They keep pumping these DeFi coins in there, and it didn't do it at all. It is epic failure. So it appears to be trying to find a bottom. RSI's down here in the buy zone. All this has been a buy on the daily. MACD is finally getting a little bit of data right here. Moneyline has some data. Moneyline says no. So maybe we should listen to the Moneyline. 12 hour looks a little more data-ish. 12 hour says no. Looks like it's rolling over down bearish again right here on the MACD. RSI's under 40 and trending under 40, which is down. It peaked under right here, which means buy, but there's only one buy indicator as opposed to 3 or 4 sell indicators. It's under the 8. 8 hasn't even shown a sign of wanting to go up yet, so may have to wait this one out a little bit. Sweat it out. Oh, people are messaging. That's good. All right, just Dre and them talking. Yeah, it was right before Sushi Swap, wasn't it? And Sushi, they openly admitted that they scammed everybody, which sucked. But whatever, man. Live and learn. Sometimes you take a lump. That's why I only put $40 in it, dude. I've wasted $40 on, and to quote Ric Flair, I've spent more money on spirit liquor and whores than I have on sushi. All right. Spend did a couple good candles, and now it's starting to come back down some as it hits some resistance here. You know, it did this peak, and then it really, really tightened the bands up, and now they're tightening up again. The good news is they're tightening, and we're over the 200. I like that. It's tightening, and we're over the 40. We're still buy signal on the MACD. We're under the midline. I don't like that. And we're over on the money line. Suspend is interesting. You know, it may come over here and pinch down. I'm not positive how that's going to work. It needs to get up over this 50. If it gets up over this 50, I'd be really happy about that because that would give it some space to move. But as you see right here, it got rejected. So that's a 12 hour. What about the daily? What does it look like? Same situation. Only the 200 is way lower. And these MAs are starting to flatten out a little bit. Okay? That means we're going to get movement one way or the other. Looks a lot like 2017 XRP to me. Looks a lot like 2017 XRP. Same similar move up right here. These moving averages taking off. Only thing is XRP caught support right here and took off again. And this one didn't. This one has a super, super low market cap, by the way. I think it's like 4 Bitcoin worth of market cap or something stupid. Yeah. What he just said. Positives about this are some are catching the 100 and 200, whereas previously that didn't happen. Let me show that real quick. We'll pull up everybody's favorite XRP because, you know, it's everybody's favorite. Nobody wants to buy or sell anything else. All right, so when this happened back in March, here's another reason why you shouldn't believe we're going to drop all these crazy percentages. When this happened back in March, we had this head and shoulders formation under trend. Okay, under trend. Perfect head and shoulders, and it took off downward. We had a golden cross, 50 going through the 200, and we had a negative response from that. Okay, that's a bad sign. That would have told us right there to stop what we were doing. Now over here, when the 100 crossed got one that 50 across the 200. We had a positive response, okay? We didn't get anything negative. That's good. Not to mention, we also broke the trend line. Now we've come back underneath it, and we're hanging out underneath it right now. So I kind of get this feeling like we're going to flutter to the side and get pinched, and we're either going to have to get up and get over, or it's coming down. Good news is, like Darth's saying, it caught the 100 right here, and it's riding it. We're still over 40. The MACD is still in the... no, it's still in the bear territory here. We're still waiting. Logan! That was his name, bro. God, I feel like an idiot now. Who mentioned it was Logan? Damn it, Darren, you got it, bro. I forgot it was named Logan, not Reb Squared. It was Logan. God, how did we forget it was Logan? Hey, what's up, Dre? Yeah, we've been in here every Tuesday and Thursday at 11, homie. You got to be on the clock, my bro. That's what I'm saying about mirror real-time importance for cycles in 5 minute, but apply same nature to larger scale. So let's say month mirrors. So month, 2 month, you mean? Or month, 3 month? Or like week, 3 week? What would your thinking be there? Based on 12-month mirror and then January, December are mirror. Oh, so, okay, so, hold on, let me get it right. So, okay, 12-month mirror, then January and December mirror are mirror months. 6-month mirror, January to June, July to December. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Reb Squared was a dude who kept saying port all the time. I remember that now. It was Logan who was a 5 minute candle guy. Reb Squared was the guy who kept saying port all the time. I've got this in my port. I keep this in my port. And I was like, why does he keep saying port? Sounds like an 80-year-old dude. Yeah, Dre, man, it's on the edge. It's teetering on the edge of disaster, bro. I've been watching too. So I get what you're saying. So like if we did, okay, so how about 2 weeks? Okay. And then 2 months. So in 2 weeks, we got all this down movement. And then we pull it up over here. And we have two-month candles. Okay, so let me pull this back out a little bit here. Move all this trash off of it. Okay, so here's the problem that I have where I don't see how it would work for higher time frames, Hope, because you have all these extra resistance lines in here that we didn't have before. Okay, like here's 2 week and 2 month. You know what I mean? They look almost identical, right? The thing is, all these resistance lines are in here. Resistance. So I guess what we're saying is the weekly would move, and then we would see the monthly move over here. But here's the problem. The moving averages are all different. So if we did 4 day and 8 day. 4 days. No, this one needs to be 8 days. Look at this. Days. 8. Add. It added that one for me. That's good. 8 days. And then we'll do 4 days over here. Ah, shit. 8 days. 4 days. Okay. So this would be 8 days compared to 4. Are the moving averages similar? Okay, so the thing is, all right, see the moving averages are all different. That's the problem that I've got. Here, I had this 200 hitting the trend line and dipping down. Right here is a 200 dipping down. But it's at a totally different time. This is January 9th over here, and over here it's December 27th. And then we had a downward cross. See, according to this, if this was correct, because this is behind and this one is ahead. No, sorry, this is the way around. This one's behind, this one's ahead. So this one had this bear cross. This one had this bear cross. So, hypothetically speaking, this would do nothing but draw down more like it did and finally hit a bottom and come up. And this one would draw down more, finally hit a bottom and come up, which would be 5 cents. If we were using Hope's futures trading strategy on the long term. Oh, okay. I think Hope is saying like 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock. No, she's saying 1 and 7. How are 1 and 7 mirrors? I'm confused. 5 and 11, 4 and 10. 1 and 7. 5 and 11, 4 and 10. I don't get how I'm confused on the mirrors. 1 and 7, 5 and 11, 4 and 10. Explain that a little bit and I'll pull it up here. Yeah, 7 month. I don't even have data for a 7-month chart, so it's going to be almost impossible. So I have to do like weeks. So I could do weeks, 1 week, and then I can add weeks over here to 7. Right there. Okay. So here's the problem. The moving averages aren't going to line up. This is the problem that I had with fractal reading regarding the previous person we were hanging out with. Because once you do this, the moving averages are in the wrong place and you're above or below resistance or support in different spots, which throws off your readings and gives you a false reading, which I didn't understand before then. And I think some people on the other side of the fence still don't understand. Opposite of the clock. Oh. Okay, are we getting into some Illuminati shit? Because I'm cool with talking about Illuminati. I got you now. You're talking about shit. See, I should have paid attention. A cyclical opposite. I got you. Okay, hang on a second. I got you. Okay. So 12 and... Or 12 and... You wouldn't have it. So 6 and 12 would be opposites. Okay, so 6 and 12 would be opposites. So that'd be 3 and 9 would be opposites. So, okay, 3 day and 9 day? Or 3 hour and 4 hour? 3 hour and 9 hour? Oh, now I get what you're saying about the months, because there's 12 months. So if you were to do a linear timeline on months, 1 through 12, that means July and August would be the mirror, because it's linear. Okay. I get what you're saying. I'm not sure how I would apply that to the chart yet, but I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. If you were to put the clock in, okay. So if you were to put if you take the numbers off the clock and replace them with months. So February and July would be opposites, right? So February would be 1, and then 6 would be June, July would be 7. Because December's 12 and July is 6. That would be linear. If we did it in a circle, it would be February and July. I get what you're saying though. We just need to apply. Okay. We can apply that to a lower minute scale, and come up with something. I get what you're saying. I didn't quite understand it until you just put it that way. Only thing is, would you apply it to linear or cyclical? If we split screen on December and the other on July. Well, let's do that. All right. Okay. Right. Excuse me, goodness. I'm finally beating whatever it is I've got. I just got to get out this damn cough. October, November, December is where this starts, right here. Let's get us a box drawn. Here. To here. All right, there's December, and then we'll go over here to July. These are 12-hour candles. June, July. I kind of get what you're saying now. I didn't fully get it at first, but now I understand. It's a little complicated, but you know what? Sometimes the answers aren't always easy. If you think that's bad, try working on an Aeon air conditioner. Boy, you'll really be ready to fight then. All right. So these are the two. Oh, shit. Okay. Interesting. Look at this. Let me just fuck around for a second here. And, boy, this better not be the same. This better not be the same. Okay? Let's flip it. Holy shit. That's pretty damn similar. This is a harder move than this, but it's the same move, just upside down. Do you see that? It's pretty similar. This move down or the hit is up with a hit. Okay, so almost the same move, just mirrored opposite. Okay. I see that. Meaning that this move right here, this downward move, is the same thing as this upward move reversed. It's like cyclical. Okay, so how could we apply that to where we're at now? What's the date? It's September. What would be the inverse of today? Because y'all are better at this than me. Okay, so we got right. So what would be the inverse of today? And I'll pull it up on the chart. Let's do that one more time. Then we'll flip it and mirror it. Well, that's just similar to what we're doing right now. Look. That's a similar movement to what we're doing right now. Which would mean more, what would mean reversal, right? That would mean reversal. Do you see that? Okay. Well, right now, it kind of looks like if I were just to move to the right, or I need to move to the left some more. March 3rd? Okay. March 3rd. That's what I was thinking. I need to move to the left. So let's get rid of this one. And let's find March 3rd. Let's just do the month. And March was a bloody month, okay? It was a rough month. So that's March. So we take this and we mirror it and we also flip it. Okay. I dig it. Alright, so yeah, I don't see anything on this one. This one doesn't look very similar to me. See what I'm saying? This one doesn't look totally similar. Alright, it could be the opposite of that. It could be the opposite of that reversal. That dump down, it could be the opposite of that dump. Can I remove the mirror? Absolutely, I can remove the mirror. But as Michael Jackson said, okay, I'm starting with the man in the mirror, okay? I don't want to do that whole stretch it and skew it thing because I feel like that's just hardcore hopium. The placement would be another problem. But this shows us that we have another dump. You know what I mean? Unless this is all chopped back here. You know what I mean? That's tough. Okay. Let's see if let's just fuck around a little bit and be that guy. You know, that's not too far off right there, is it? That's not that far off, is it? Kinda seems accurate. You know what? The interesting thing is if you look at what's on the screen right here, that would show it holding the 200 moving average on the 12 hour. Bouncing off of it, but holding it. Okay? See that? Kind of bouncing and struggling, but holding it. You know, a big nasty dip and then a pull back up. That would show that. That would line up with Bitcoin taking a shit. You know what I mean? This is interesting. But look how low that would put it down at 14 cent. I just do not see that. I just don't see that. That's why I'm not sure this is totally accurate. There's too much support right there at 20 cents for that to happen, for it to wick that far. But it is Poloniex. It is Poloniex. That's Poloniex, you know. All right. Right. The thing is, it matches the support. That's what I was just looking at. The support matches. It would show it was wicking around. Let's try this on the not Wick City chart. How about that? If we just do this on Bitstamp or something, because Bitstamp's a pretty not wicked out chart. March 3rd. We'll do the whole March. Come on, cursor. What the hell is going on here? Alright, that didn't work. Okay, that one worked. I didn't want it to, but it did. March 1st. There we go. Till April. Alright, we pull that off. Then we'll flip it. Just to see if it lines up a little better than the other one did. See, this one's going to line up better. And it's going to be better based on support. Yeah, look, now this one makes more sense because we got support here. Yeah, look at that. That makes more sense to me. The problem, that would have it breaking through all this resistance here magically and just going. Okay. What about... Okay, because it's mirrored. What if it was a 24... No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy. Okay. Okay, I don't want to be that dude who takes time frames and starts skewing them because then I'm the guy I'm hating on. But that lines up pretty well. That lines up with resistance and support. Fuck me. I'm a little taken back by the prices on this rise here. I don't think it would be that accurate. Okay? You know what I mean? I'm not sure on that big of a price. Because if we go to, real quick, the month and put up some lines, there's going to be resistance everywhere in here. Let's just do it real quick, some resistance lines. I have one at 30 down here. Been under that fucker for a year and a half. Now we go back to 12 hours. Just real quick. Just to have a glance. I just wanted to get an idea. Okay. Actually, that fucking lines up. Damn it. I don't want that to line up because... Fuck. Because if that lines up, then I'm wrong. Then I gotta take shots. And I don't have the... I don't have the gut to be taking so many shots. Okay. It's a rhythm, not a repeat. Okay, so that's the thing. You're right. It's a rhythm, not a repeat. Okay, so it's more about how it would react and how it would bounce off resistance. And I've already said that I thought once this thing hit the bottom down here, that it was going to come back up and test 30 again and actually break it. And that would line up with this. Okay? That would line up with this hitting this resistance and finally breaking it after trying for several hours. And after dipping again. That would line up with that. And what if we took this? The 1 day. I don't like that. But I could see that happening because of the way the resistance and support's setting up right now. You know what I'm saying? This would be hitting those resistance and support lines and testing them. But that would be a more realistic view because that's 30 and 33 cents, which I don't have a problem with. And that would have it coming all the way down here to 22 to test these lines down here. You know what I mean? There's another one right here. Oh, shit, that lines up. Okay, that lines up. I just suck with these dates. So if we can keep this in the back of our mind, you know what I mean? If we can keep this in the back of our mind and use this for futures only, because I just don't trust fractals. But the support and resistance is what lines up, and that's kind of odd. Okay? That's odd. And the prices line up. Now, it doesn't look the same, and I don't think it would be exactly the same. That would be horseshit to think it would be the same. But a similar movement, I don't disagree with. I think we're going to come down here and test that 200, and that lines up with it. So I think more so than anything, it's a what's the best way to put it? A precursor to what might happen. It may not be the exact same price points, but it looks similar. It does look similar. But I don't totally trust that. The March 3rd, we were underneath resistance. Now we're over top of it. And that goes against one of the principles of that fractal thing I was learning. And if we're just doing futures, it's different. Okay? Different. Let's see. Indicators were down then. They're down now. Oversold. Not oversold. I don't know, man. I hate to be that guy. So, I would keep this in the back of our mind, but I'm not sold on it yet. If I'm going to do it, it's only going to be on 5-minute charts anyway. And if I'm going to use I'm using the regular TA on the daily and other time frames, then we can combine the 5-minute with the money line like we just saw earlier. Just changing it from 16 to 14. And we can find better futures trades by finding the 16 and by finding the money line breaking over and the RSI being oversold. Once it catches the 8, we can buy, ride it up. I like that plan. I think that was super solid. Super duper solid. Whoops. Wrong button. Let's see. Hope is our Da Vinci specialist. Better to catch it now. Nick says busted. I know exactly what you're talking about, bro. Every time it lines up, let's test for 2 more months. That's exactly right. It's all a fib scale. In terms of probabilities, those fib zones and their opposites, yeah. We're about to break barriers. Maybe XRP Hope Lords were right. Super no. I'm super going to disagree with you on that one. Now reversing fibs, that's fine. That's just testing resistance and failing, or testing support and failing. That's just standard 100% TA all the way. The money line is a super good indicator. I really, really like the money line. The way you put it in, Hope, is if you go over to Telegram on the files section, there's a PDF, and you copy and paste the PDF into my scripts, and then you save it. And then what will happen is you'll add it in as an indicator, and then you can change some settings on there if you'd like, but you can add it in and it'll come up on your screen too. It's kind of a pain in the ass to put it in, and I believe Frank has the screenshot of what it looks like when it's up there. And then you can take that screenshot and compare it to what you input, and you can have the money line too. You just have to get on there and get it. There's also other indicators in there that are in scripts. You just have to take that script and input it. It's up to you to pick which ones you like. I like the easy 3+1. There's also a 3+1+1 that has a bull and bear indicator on there, which is really cool. There's a rain on me indicator. There's a MACD bull and bear indicator. The OSCU indicator, which is strictly bear bull. There's an automatic fib retracement one on there. I believe Darth uses that, don't you, Darth? But there's an auto fib retracement one. Check this out. I'll show you. This is really cool. I just pull my fibs on my own, okay? But the auto fib retracement tool is pretty neat. Let me pull all these indicators off, and I'll show you what it does. All right, I'll hide this one. So, indicators, auto fib retracement with alerts, right? Click on this. Give it a second here. Coming up. There we go. So what this does is it pulls fibs for you. That's a little bit tricky to read. You can come here and change the settings. But it tells you what to do. Buy the retrace or sell the retrace, okay? You can actually change these values in here to do a 50 retracement or 786. So I could do delete 0.786, which is pretty cool. And I can take this extend lines right off, or you can leave it on, whichever one you want. Just looks a little funky. And you can change the colors. But basically, you know, if you look real close here, it pulled from the bottom. It pulled from the top down. So it's expecting this to go one way. We'll reverse it. We'll click on settings. And there's a reverse function on here. There we go. Yeah, so the top down, and now it's stuck under 236, so we can see that. It's pretty neat. It does it for us. It's an automatic fib retracement tool. It'll put it on the most recent timeline for you, and it'll give you the opposite, you know, indicator. It'll give you the opposite indicator targets. You know, just a minute ago we were looking at that little fractal thing we had up there, and it said 33 and 35. And look what the target points are on this if it finally retraces. If it doesn't dip any farther, these are the target points here. Now this will change as it goes along. It'll actually tell you when it's time to buy and sell once it crosses this purple line right here. See how I put that up there? That's telling you it's going to pop up a little indicator that'll say buy. We can change it to a different number and you'll see. Which is pretty neat. It's got a little automatic buy and sell thing on there. We can change it to 0.236. 0.236. Okay. And it's telling you right now to buy. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're not going to buy 236. We're going to buy 50s or 786s. So we change it to 50 here. Okay. Now it moved that purple line down to here. When the price crosses this purple line, it's going to say bam, buy, which is super cool. That'll tell us to buy, and we'll ride it up until it says sell. And you see it says sell up here, which is also neat. You can change that. There's another way to change it in here. I forget. Whatever. You can tinker around with it. I like it. It's pretty neat. I pull my own fibs because I don't like all the colors and all this other stuff, but a lot of people use this one. It's pretty neat. It's free. All you have to do is input it. The buy sell Bollinger Band also may be useful for scalping. I don't have that. I don't have that one. You're trolling Twitter, bro. I trolled Twitter hard today. I did, and dudes didn't even come back at me. They just laughed about it, or liked my tweets, and I was trolling pretty hard, bro. I keep going after that damn Gordon Gekko guy, and he just keeps putting up stupid shit. And he said something about 48 hours over and over and over again today, and I was like, wait a minute, no. He doesn't mean this 48 hours. He means the other 48 hours, and then not that direction, the other direction, 48 hours. So I don't have that script, Darth. Is that in the file section, bro? Let me go look real quick. MACD, let's see. 3 for 1, candles. There's classes, the Holy Grail, big hitter, tits play, money line, Fibby. Okay. Pump doctor, entry points, Yeah, all these are on there too. Buy, sell signal, is that it? That's pretty neat. Engulfing strategy, rain on me indicator. The auto fib tracement easy's on here. Stock divergence, that's cool. There's also one on here for, it puts the stock and the RSI together in one indicator. That's pretty neat. Okay, easy way to determine mirror months. Get a composition book, write in 12 months down on 12 lines, then flip the months from bottom up, placing the mirror beside each other. Then draw lines through 3 months, 6 months, fractals, flip mirror, that makes sense. Okay, I got you. Oh, okay, Darth, that easy 3 plus 1 plus 1, it's already on there. And it's already combined in there. Oh, you know what, Nick, you brought something up interesting. We kicked Jolly out of the group, right? The day after we kicked Jolly out of the group, on the video that he put out, he immediately went against everybody saying the gap was going to close. Immediately. Right after I kicked him out. Also, I had to use my secondary account to watch blockchain backer videos because he blocked me. But I just used my work phone. But that's when I was watching and I saw him pulling fibs. Here's what he did. He went to go, I'm going to take this indicator off. He said, if we were going to pull fibs, we would just start over here and we would pull from up here and we come down like this. But that's not correct. That's the wrong spot. This is the wrong spot. This is the correct spot. Here. Why? Because this trend already happened and failed. So we're looking for a new one now. This trend is happening. What's going to happen? Can it come up here and fail? Yes, it can. We don't know yet, so we're waiting. So he's still telling people to do it wrong. The problem that I have is he's got all these followers and all these listeners, and he's telling them the wrong things. Now, at least he's in log mode, okay? The Jolly dude doesn't even put it in log mode. He's in linear mode. You can't find trends in linear mode. It doesn't work. If you want to know what I'm talking about, look. I'll put this in month. Erase this. Get this off. Here's what a month looks like on Bitstamp. In log mode. Let's put it in linear mode. Exactly how the hell are you supposed to chart that? You see how my trend line just changed? Look at that. Whoops. Trend line changed. And this trend line, it doesn't make sense, first of all, because it's way up here, but I'm under it. Price is under it, okay? This trend line should be way down here and way down here. Okay? Doesn't line up at all. If you had it done incorrectly, then you would think we've broken resistance and are on our way to the moon. Problem. That's not how it works. You can't follow trends in linear mode. You need to be in log mode. Now look at log mode. And what happened to that resistance line? Okay, I flipped resistance almost a year ago. So what? Nothing's happened. This is how you know you're doing it wrong. Okay? Simple. The other problem. The volume indicator that comes up on your screen whenever you start a TradingView account has no bearing at all on what happens on the chart. None. It's a price indicator. That's all the volume is. A price indicator. It doesn't chart anything. It doesn't help you do anything. There's no use in using the volume indicator, okay? None. All it does is show you how much volume coming on the coin that day. It could have been just as much sell volume as buy volume. Doesn't matter. Okay? It's a stupid indicator. But that's his number one trading strategy. Oh, I look for a flip of resistance and I see some volume and that lets me know. What are you doing? That's not how it works. And I'm happy to call these people out. If they would like to talk to me about how wrong they are, I would be happy to correct them. Because if you're going to sell people stuff like this, you need to be doing it correctly. Because you're selling people snake oil. Not cool, bro. Not cool. Hopium graduate. Let's see. He seems like a good dude, but the more I learn, the more I see flaws in his analysis. And still new to what he... Okay, and still news. So what he does that say... Ah, shit, I can't read, bro. He seems like a good dude, but the more I learn, the more I see flaws in his analysis. And still news. So what does that say if I'm saying that? I got you. Chart the year 2017, Keith, with 2019 and 2020, and flip the mirror real quick. Let's see real quick, okay? For shits and giggles, let's hopium this shit. You want 2017 with 2019 and 2020? Is that what you said? 2017 with 2019 and 2020. Okay. Okay, let's see. Well, if I'm going to have to find some more data here. So, trash all this. Cut these pivot points off. 2017. All right. We'll do a bars pattern. January 17. December of 17. That's our pattern. All right. And you want it done which way? And flip and mirror real quick, okay? Flipped, mirrored. Shit, where'd it go? Let's try that again. Let's do a flip mirror first. Mirrored. Flipped. It doesn't make much sense at all. It's not a very useful chart at all. Like that would just be straight moon soon. That doesn't look useful at all. Absolutely what Darth just said. What does it say if you're seeing the flaws? That tells you right there what you're saying. What happens is people get complacent with their skill set. You find a thing that you think you're good at and you stick with it and you say, oh, I know what I'm talking about because I've been doing this for... Okay, that's fine. I'm pretty sure that I know about these indicators, but that doesn't mean someone can't show me something different. I happened to be trolling Twitter today and seen that somebody was talking about the 40 line on the RSI, and I have no idea who that dude was. And I was like, hey, look, somebody else knows about the 40 line. Did they hear that from me? Probably not. But they know about it, and that made me happy. And then I scrolled down, and someone said, what's the significance of 40? And they wouldn't let me comment on the dude's post. I don't know whether he had already blocked me or whatever before, so I don't know. Okay. I think the monthly mirror is a great hunch. Hope should be tested more. Yeah, I don't know about yearly. Yearly's whack. That seems whack. I'm not gonna because I'm anti hopium hardcore. I'm anti hopium, and that just seems like some straight up hopium. Yes, this looks similar to this. The problem is there was light resistance here, now there's heavy resistance here. Um, Extremely low volume here, extremely higher volume here. I mean market cap, not volume. Lower market cap, higher market cap. Here we're down here fractions of a penny. Now we are dollars. Much, 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 much different. You flipped the massive amount of support and resistance. You have moving averages now. You have Bollinger Bands. None of that was there before. So it's completely different. And I'll stick with that till the cows come home. That's just the way it is. When I see something different, I will be happy to say otherwise. So for sure tonight, I want everybody to add one harmony to their big hitter list, which I'm going to do right now. One USD, one harmony Binance. And let's move this up here because it's surely a 1. Move it right up here with algo. Because it's a green one and one harmony is a green one. All right. Okay. Look, CRV. Hey, get ready. Here she comes. CRV's making a comeback, by God. Don't call it a comeback. Now that it's dipped real far, we can get a better accurate reading on what we're going to... Percentages are possible. Oh my God, 43,000%. Shut your friggin' mouth. That'll never happen. Not on no DeFi coin. All right. Okay. I think the monthly mirror is a great hunch. I'm not too sure about the year. I need more to learn. Keith, what I'm saying is if we... Excuse me, sorry. What I'm saying is what if this is a mirror year and dumps incoming instead of their hopium? Aha. Dude, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. What if it's not all up? And what if we're not breaking trend and we're going down? Been screaming that, and I know where the bottom is, okay? It's roughly 6 cents. That's the bottom. If it goes down there, there's no coming back from that. You're going to I mean, look. If we're looking for 786 and 886, we're already at 94% loss. That's 97% loss. I'm sorry, but I'm out at that point. I'm never buying any more ever again. If it goes down that low, I'm not buying anymore. That is not a buying opportunity. That's a 97% loss. That is not a buy. That is a shit coin. Does that hurt your feelings? That means XRP would be a shit coin. Certified platinum shit coin. 97% loss. How can you call it anything else? I don't care what reforms they're talking about or legislation, or I don't care. When they put some pen to paper, then we can talk. When I see the chart make some positive gains, then we can talk. Until then, that hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. There are 4 congressmen out of 400 even talking about cryptocurrency. They can't even talk about it. What makes you think they're going to sign some kind of paperwork? What makes you think there's some kind of person in the background with a switch just sitting here waiting? I'm going to flip it. Boom! And now we're moon. Not the way it works. That's not how it works. I wish it did because I want to be a millionaire already. Okay? But that's not the way charts work. It's never going to be the way charts work. When charts like that happen, same thing that happened to Kodak when the president mentioned Kodak and the chart shot up real hard. Guess what happened the next day? That bitch come back down. Okay? You think it's not going to come back down? You think it's just going to keep going forever? Incorrect. That's not the way charts work. I'm sorry. Regulations, bro. Oh, God. Oh, God. Could they cause a dip? No, it's supply and demand. It's as simple as that. XRP has a low price because of supply and demand. It's pretty simple. Let me explain the concept to you real fast. Supply and demand. Okay, with XRP you have a set number of coins. Okay? You have a set number of coins. These set number of coins have been sold off some, and some have not been sold off. In fact, one of the complaints about your company is it's not decentralized. Why is it cryptocurrency if it's not decentralized? You're centralizing it. That's not cryptocurrency. That's just currency. And that's not cool. We don't like it. So what XRP did was instead of just selling off the XRP in controlled bursts, in controlled amounts, they put it in escrow, which is released a certain amount each month. Okay? This controls the supply. Okay, so they have a supply of 60 billion coins. That's what it started with. And every month they pull some of it out and they sell it. Okay? They pull out 2 papers worth. Okay, they sell some. They sell some of this, but they don't quite sell it all. They sell half. So they put this half back in escrow. And this half gets sold. That still leaves this much. Okay? Who gets this? Whoever wants it. Well, who wants it? Well, it's 23 cents right now. So nobody. But what if somebody wants it? Well, they got to wait for it to come out of escrow to get it. Okay, next month it comes out again. Here you go. Oh, well, this month Ripple says, nope, we're not selling any this month. Sorry. Well, now what? Now you're stuck. So supply and demand is pretty simple. Now, if we didn't have this supply, and the only thing floating around out there was this, okay, now there's less supply, which is higher demand. That's the way supply and demand works. Why are Tickle Me Elmos $300 at Christmas time? Because there's only a few Tickle Me Elmos, and there's a whole bunch of Karens wanting to buy them for their kids. Okay? So that raises the demand. The supply is low, the demand is high. Right now, you have a shit ton of supply that needs to be sold. The demand is low. When you reduce the supply to only this, okay, now the demand goes up. Well, who gets this? Well, nobody yet, because they haven't given it to anybody yet. They don't have to sell it to anybody. They take it out of escrow. They could just put it right back in if they wanted to. They could do this till the fucking cows come home. You have no control over that. They get the escrow out. They have no obligation to sell it. Okay? So, where does it go? So let's be hopium here. And Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, TD Bank, and a couple others, whichever one, SunTrust, they all say, hey man, we want some XRP. We want 12 million each. So they buy a bunch of this XRP, 12 billion. They're going to buy 12 billion. But you can't have 12 billion. It comes out in escrow. So what are you supposed to do? Okay, well, here's what XRP could do is they could earmark all this and say this is all the banks. So there'd be no more for sale for y'all forever. This is all the banks. Supply is gone. Supply is gone. All that's left is this. Otherwise, the banks get all this other here. Okay, that would increase the demand because you've removed the supply. But that hasn't happened. They haven't earmarked anything. In fact, they just keep putting it back in there, which extends the time out farther that it takes to get the coins out to sell. Okay? So, we can sit here and talk about how XRP is so amazing and everything else, and it has this real-world use case, which it does. But it's totally useless so long as the demand is low and the supply stays high. Supply and demand is a basic economic principle. You can say it doesn't work, but it literally works every day, all day long. Your gas is the price it is because of supply and demand. You have a job because of supply and demand. Laptops have come down in price because of supply and demand. TVs used to be thousands and thousands of dollars. Now I looked up because I'm going to buy one. You can get a 32-inch TV from Walmart for $71. A 4K 31-inch TV for $71. Why? Because the supply is high and the demand's low for that. It's simple. It's simple. Okay? It's not that complicated to understand. All right, so let's see. Most of the government documents say pay remittances like Ripple, but not actually say using Ripple, so we're not actually saying what they mean. Exactly. In the escrow, everything's out of escrow now. No, it's not. Incorrect. All of that XRP is still in escrow right now. Half of it is out because that's what they've obligated to sell already. But they only get, I want to say 50 million or something like that every month comes out. Or I forget the exact number of how much comes out. But it's 5 years worth. Supposedly, since they are custodians, that their responsibility to buy XRP, very confusing. When you suppress the supply, you suppress the demand on purpose. Harsh economics. Think William Buffett getting the heads up and XRP remittances. Bro, Nick, people still buy Tickle Me Elmos right now, homie. Beanie Babies, bro. Oh my God. You realize that it's not out, Hope. They have all that XRP in escrow, and only a little bit comes out each month. It's not out. That's the over-the-counter Ripple money that they sell. They sell some each month. That's what it is. It's not out of escrow at all. Not at all. There's a total amount, and they're only allowed to take out certain amounts each month. I volunteered for a special project at work today to explore liquid solutions for clients. I can't wait to start talking about CDBCs. I know, right? That's the cool thing about XRP is it's instant liquidity, and I'm down with that all day long. But I mean, it's just an economic principle that isn't going to work until you lock it in, man. I mean, that's just the way it is. We can even look up real quick. All right, here you go. Here's the Hopium website. Briefly unavailable for maintenance. There you go. Here you go. XRP Ledger releases 1 billion XRP from Ripple's escrow every month. Ripple releases some fraction of that XRP to the market, and some is put back into escrow. This was last year, by the way. As of right now, Ripple has 50 billion XRP in its holdings, 6.5 billion out of escrow. Approximately 42.6 billion XRP is currently in circulation. So they have a large majority still in escrow. You can actually go and see what they're buying and selling. Last month, Hope, they sold 115 million, I believe. 95 million went to Bitstamp. They bought a bunch of it because they're selling more at that time. So they specifically bought it just for themselves. I want to say it's on the 3rd of every month that the escrow comes out. And like I said, they're not obligated to sell it all. And last year, right around Swell, they didn't sell any. Everything that came out, they put right back in. They even told everyone they were going to do that. I think 2 or 3 months they went without selling any at all. And people were like, why are you doing that? And they were like, well, because we can. We don't need to sell any right now. there's enough on the market. They were trying to increase demand by reducing supply. Problem is, everybody knows you still have it sitting there. So it's not really going to change anything. Yeah, and Jed McCaleb, who used to be partners in Ripple, he sells about 1.2 to 1.5 million a month worth. And that's another thing. If you really think XRP is going to go high, then why does somebody be selling $1.5 million worth at 23 cents? Why wouldn't he just wait until it goes all the way up and then sell? I mean, that's a kicker right there. Um, they don't. That okay? They're good. So here's what Hope says. I know what the escrow is and why it was created, but the key here is who the fuck owns it and who owns the other half. And if Ripple can't own it because it would flag them for SEC regulation. Exactly. They don't own it. They're just in control of it. They don't own it. They can't own it. They're just in control of it. They can never buy it for themselves. It's just sitting in an account and they're in charge of the account. Just like if your kid had a trust fund and you were in charge of it. You can't take the money for yourself, but you can give the money to the kid. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it's just like a trust fund. You can't have the money for yourself. Yeah, there you go, Darth. They cut the sales in half by last year. Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, there's cloud tech out there. Codius, Amazon, Polysign, all that's out there. Amazon Web Services. And I mean, I get it. It's all out there. But until it actually does something, bro, I don't buy it at all. Um, the derivatives market. Yeah, okay, here's the thing about that. So here's the thing. All right, so let's say you're let's do an example of Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank needs to transact with Bank of America, and it's a $7.6 billion transaction. So you would move, let's say XRP was $1, you would move 7.6 billion XRP back and forth. Okay, that would cost 10 cents. You don't need to buy any more XRP. All you're doing is swapping it back and forth. Now you would need to custody some to have it sitting in reserve so that you could swap back and forth, but you're never going to need to buy anymore. It would take you a lifetime to burn through all that XRP if you're only using 10 cents worth at a time. So once they do get it, they don't have to buy anymore. They can just sit on it. And they're not gonna buy anymore. And the same thing goes for the derivatives market, like the CME market in Chicago. Once they have their once they have their custody amount, they don't have to buy anymore after that. They're done. And they can't get it out in a hurry either. That's the problem. So the escrow only releases 500 million a month. You know, TD Bank wants 12 billion, and they're earmarking it so that TD Bank gets 12 billion. Well, that's going to take 24 months just for them to get their XRP out. Sorry, but that would mean nobody else got any. It would take forever for that to happen. You would be waiting the full 3 to 5 years before XRP would actually go to its full valuation price. And then at that point, it wouldn't matter what XRP moved where, because the only buying and selling would be on the open market side, and you're still custodying, because you got all these big banks custodying the rest. You've reduced supply now, but you're going to hit a stopping point because you've reduced the supply to X, and that's it. There's no more supply or demand. It's always this. Can other people custody it? Sure. People could just jump on it and hold a big bunch of it. But it's not unlimited shares like a stock. So it's a little tricky to understand at first, but once you kind of get the grasp of it, you'll see what I'm saying. Let's see. So you could either have 1 million XRP valued at $1 to move $1 million, or you could have 1 XRP valued at 1 million and do the same thing. Correct. If XRP was 1 million and you needed to make $1 million transaction, you would move 1 XRP. Correct. You would never, okay, and here's the thing, you're going to lose 10 cents. So the next time you're going to need to do 1,010,000. So it would take you very, very, very long time, but eventually you would burn through all your XRP that way. I don't know, man. Weird concept. Something's off with it or on with Ripple. I think they're on for surprise either way. Well, there's also no proof that anybody's going to use XRP. You know, Hedera Hashgraph does the same thing as XRP. It doesn't move quite as fast, but it does the same thing. XLM does really similar stuff to XRP. It doesn't move as fast. But who said they only have to buy XRP? You could just buy all of XLM if you wanted to. It wouldn't move quite as fast, but it would still move pretty fast. Be faster than 3 days, right? Now, if it's backed by something stable, correct? Like what? Well, what would you back it behind? If you say gold, that's wonderful, but there's absolutely zero proof of that. You have zero proof that anybody will ever back anything with gold, including cash. Number one, because the president can't pull that off without Congress. He can't pull that off without Congress because Congress actually makes the rules and applies the rules. He could write an executive order that Congress would just veto. Okay, because you have to get 400 people on board with that. Like I said, you got 4. Any precious metal? Sure. You could try that, but again, you'd have to have 400 congressmen. You'd have to have at least 200 get on board with it. You got 4. I mean, even the subcommittee hearings, subcommittee panels on finance are heavily no against doing the gold standard or any precious metal standard or the petrodollar standard. They're all against all of that. Every one of them. He signed an executive order, but the executive order hasn't went into effect. And when it does go into effect, Congress has already talked about vetoing that executive order he signed. That's the problem with executive orders. Executive orders get splashy news. They get splashy news, but they don't do anything. All the power is in Congress. That's the number one thing to realize about politics in America. All the power is in Congress, not the House, not the Senate, the Congress. That's why they have the lowest approval rating, because they make the rules. And it won't be any better if Biden gets elected, so don't worry. It'll be just as bad. Nothing's going to change. What controls this market is the chart and supply and demand. It's as simple as that. If they go on the news and they say something like we're going to put XRP to every dollar in America, okay, that would happen. And the chart would go crazy, sure. But that's just not going to happen. Very, very rarely do you ever see a politician point out one company by name and say we're going to use them, because that's unethical and against the ethics committee. You're pushing a private company forward, just like Obama did with Chevy Volt and got in trouble for it. Just like Trump did with Kodak and got in trouble for it. You can't do that. You can't get on TV and pump one thing like that. You get in trouble for it. Remember that XRP and Ripple are independent of each other. Ripple cannot succeed. Yeah, that's correct also. That's something else. The XRP ledger is open source, so even if Ripple went out of business, the ledger would keep running without XRP. Without Ripple, the XRP ledger would keep going. Let's see. The only thing that would explain the chart skyrocketing with the mirror would be some coin getting backed by gold. Also, Hope, if you mean to tell me that this chart here for XRP is going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monthly lines. We know that charts test lines. We know that charts test lines. 6, 7, 8, 9, missed 1, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 11. Maybe there, 12. No, maybe not. Maybe that's a daily. We'll call it 11. How about that? If you mean to tell me that this thing's just going to skyrocket and go through 11 resistance lines, that it hasn't broken 30 cents in a year and a half, that it's just going to go up and take off, that would go against every chart principle ever made. 100% every chart principle ever made. Let's see. Or the reverse, Keith, dump. I'm very interested in that Ripple same scale. If Ripple IPO, Codius release, Amazon combo, or take over the world will be insane. Not just XRP, look at all coins, same scale. If. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It could dump also. It's not, that's the thing. It only takes one bad news article and a congressman sees it and they just ban cryptocurrency in the United States. Then what? Then what? What are we going to do then? Are we actually worried about Amazon Web Services if they ban cryptocurrency in the U.S.? They're not going to do that. They're already trading publicly CME stocks on Bitcoin. They're trading futures on Bitcoin in Chicago every day. So it's not going to change. In fact, it's going to get bigger. So, but I'm saying don't ever discount anything from happening. If you think you know it, you're wrong. I very much could be wrong, but I'm telling you, this XRP chart is not going to take off and fly. It will not take off and fly. Why did it do this here? Because we had far, far less resistance. Maybe 3 lines. That's it. Of course it's free to go. And then when it did go, it checked up on support. And it went again, and it didn't check up on support. And this is why people think we're coming down here, okay? Because we never checked up on top of this. That would be 6-ish cents. All this right here, we never caught this. Okay, that's a common thing on charting. It never caught support there. That would be a 97% retracement. I just don't buy it. It's possible too. This thing could just keep on coming down. You could look at this and say, oh, it's a different trend line, but it's coming down. It's under the trend line now. It's just going to tank. It's possible. I also see a nice cup and handle right here that took about 7 months to make, which is about how long real cups and handles take to make. So it's a tough call. It's a tough call. It didn't break and hold. That's the thing, Nick. It broke on the daily, but it did not break and hold. That's what people keep saying that. Oh, it did break 30 cents, but it didn't hold. It didn't hold. Hold it. Well, it's one thing to peek over it and look at it. It's another thing to hold it. That's the tricky part. Right there's 30 cents. Look, no hold, no hold, no hold. This is all the way back to August of 19. So all these weeks right here, it has not broke and held 30 cents on a weekly chart. Just hasn't done it. And on a daily chart, it's barely done it. On a 4-day chart, it has not. That's the thing. You can't just look at it and say, oh, it broke it, we're good. That's what Blockchain Backer did on Twitter. He actually put up a Twitter post and said, that's it, we've broken it, we're good, like an hour after it broke resistance. What happened a couple hours later? It went right back down. And I thought, you friggin' idiot. You just put that on the internet for everybody to see. Did you not just realize what you just did? You just hopiumed everybody. And it went right back down. And I even told a guy on Twitter I was talking to him, like, dude, that's going to go back down. No, man, we're good to go. We're gone. So I was like, trust me, it's going to go back down. And by God, if it didn't, we're at 24 cents right now. Like, come on. You got to see it. You got to see it. I want to see confirmation. Everybody's so worried about this thing shooting to the moon, and every penny this thing goes up, people freak out. There's so much resistance here. It just can't get through it as fast as we want it to. I wish it would. Absolutely, that 30 cents is strong. All this right here, I mean, look, this is all 30-cent chop. It's the worst resistance on the chart. There's less up here, I'll give you that. But it's actually got to get up here and break and hold this first. And it just hasn't done it. Just hasn't done it. All this in here is resistance. Ugly resistance. Break it. It hasn't done it. It's making a nice head and shoulders here. Okay, that will give it some momentum to get going. But it's only going to go so far. It's going to get stuck again and stuck again and stuck again and stuck again until it gets up to all-time high. And we've talked about the price at all-time high. I'll be happy to buy when it breaks 50 cents because that's a good level. Okay. Yeah, isn't a 97% retracement a great buying opportunity? If it was 786, it would be, because that would mean it got rejected at 786 and went up. Dollar cost average, exactly, bro. Just dollar cost average down to 5 cents. That's all you got to do. Buy the dips, right? While moving money through every market fast and cheap, giving each other a fair opportunity to show off their skills. May the best one. Absolutely hope that's a legit theory that they don't stop anybody from doing anything so long as they're willing to abide by SEC regulations and they say everyone can have a go at it and let the best man win, because that's an open market concept. That's what happened in the dot-com era. That's what happened before that in the 80s with housing era. That's what happened in the 50s with the oh god, I forget the name of what they call that. That's the boomer era. That's what happened in the 20s with the Industrial Revolution. May the best man win. That's what happens. It's only a matter of time before that happens again. Now, this crypto bubble that we're in is going to pop one day. And I'm telling y'all, you better get out when it happens, because when it does happen, we're only going to get this chance to get out once. Do you really want to be the dude riding 97% down? Because I'm telling you, there's people very close to us who have been buying since $3. And it's at 24 cents. And you're really going to sit here and talk about how you got some profits. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You've been buying since $3. I don't want to hear shit about how you got profits. You don't got nothing. You've got hope. Hope is not good enough. Hope's a name. That is not a chart. That is not a chart conversation. So, I mean, if I had more people that would admit to that and say, "Hey, man, I'm wrong," I would be down as hell. I've extended the olive branch to those who disagree with me to have a civil debate about things. No thanks. I get shut down really quickly. So, I mean, whatever, man. You don't have to talk to me. That's fine. The market, Swift, do not have the ledger interface with digital currencies, and XRPL is the only marketable one at the moment. Yeah. I mean, here's another thing. Let's put this concept out there. What if Swift just comes out with their own cryptocurrency that runs on a ledger that's just as fast as XRP? Then what? Then they don't have to be replaced, do they? What if just Swift purchases Ripple for $12 billion or something stupid like that? Then what? Then it's not Ripple anymore. Then something different. Like, I mean, don't think anything like this can't happen. Mergers happen all the time. T-Mobile and AT&T and Bear Stearns, Sears Roebuck. Okay, they all merge. That's the way it works. It's business. I could care less about the Spark thing, really, honestly. It's a somewhat stable token or something like that. I don't think it matters at all. I don't think it's going to help or hurt anything. There's already multiple coins running on the Ripple, on the XRP ledger. It's an open source ledger, so anybody can put a node on it. All you have to do is go through the validator to get it. You can put a node on XRP on the XRP ledger right now if you want. I think there's way too big of a deal been made about it, to be honest with you. Swift is the current payment system, Jeremy. The way Swift works. All right, so Jeremy, when you get off this, depending on what time you go to work, I want you to watch The Big Short. In The Big Short, Swift payment systems work this way. Okay, so when you make a transaction at Publix and you buy something, Publix gets paid instantly, okay? But the bank takes 3 days to actually complete that transaction. That's a 3-day hold on every single transaction now. Publix gets their money up front, and the bank fronts it to them that way, okay? They have a big, huge pool of money that they front customers with, okay? They front your customers with. So that problem is that ties up money in a big pool and makes you hold it and wait because it takes 3 days for every transaction. International transactions could take even longer than that, okay? So essentially this system come out in 69, I think. So it's almost 50 years old now. It's a very old and outdated system. XRP settles transactions in 10 seconds, instantly. You can move money across the ocean in 10 seconds. There's an old saying that if you had a choice between paying a guy in Germany $1 million American dollars through Swift or getting in a plane with a bag of money, flying to Germany, landing, and taking him the money, you'd be better off flying and taking him the money than you would trying to send it to the bank. That's the old saying. Well, that's stupid. Why don't we do better? Well, that's the whole point in XRP. The idea was it's instant liquidity. You can instantly move money like this. Okay. The problem is it just hasn't ever came about. It's a good concept. It's a good concept. And there's really good use case behind that. But we got no proof it'll ever be used. I don't need Twitter hopium news. Give me some real news. We just haven't got it yet. See what Nick just said right there? I said it before. I work with Swift every day and it's garbage. This is what got me into XRP to begin with. The interoperability for banks is marketable. Swift could also subscribe to Ripple and use it too if they wanted. That's true. Swift is the current system to send wires. That's true. Best case scenario, an international payment takes 3 to 5 days to process via Swift. Domestic wires can happen the same day, but international takes 3 to 5 days to transact. Did you hear what he just said? 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days. Come on. Like, I got to wait 5 days to send $7 million. I'd really like to get that $7 million over there and used, but I can't. Now, with XRP, I move it in 10 seconds. That's the beauty of it. And you don't need a middleman to do it. It's a bankless, it's a tellerless bank. A tellerless bank. Your wallet, your XRP wallet is a tellerless bank. So you can just send money wherever you want to without having to do a transaction in between, which is really neat. In the movie The Big Short, that's what I was going to say. Right as the market's starting to crash, they find out that he comes in the next morning and the market's just tanked. And they're like, crap. And there's a certain part where Steve Carell's talking on the phone. He's walking through a door and he says, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Buffett might have got the remittance data first. And then he gets off the phone. But if you catch that, that's them saying they knew about who got paid and who didn't first. So Buffett saw that before everybody else. He was able to pull his shares in pre-market. So he got out before it dumped. And damn it, we didn't have that information. So now we're behind. See what I'm saying? Remittance data is really important. XRP could get you that remittance data in 10 seconds, where Swift takes 3 to 5 days to get you that remittance data. Remittance data is payment data, by the way, settlement data. That's what a remittance is. Swift is Fed and Bank Consortium. Ripple is private company. The best way they would do to purchase subscription from Ripple. That's how the state contracts with the metro train subway system and NASA and SpaceX work. Correct. It's probably cheaper in some cases to fly. Correct. Ripple IPO could definitely be a bank with the XRP ledger. Possibly. The bank of the forefront is the best enterprise, become more profitable. Correct. Got it. Okay, good deal. All right, so it's 2 a.m. Been on here for 3 hours. I've got to go to work at the 5:30, which means it's like super butthole late. Dog hasn't pooped since 11 o'clock, so I'm pretty sure she's turtle heading it in there. Probably. So I'm going to work on getting this computer fixed up. I'm gonna work on getting this computer screen fixed tomorrow. See if I can't get the damn screen to work again. I don't know what the hell happened. And then, whatever. We'll get it figured out. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next stream. I appreciate everybody showing up. This is the most we've had for this long. We've had at least double-digit people in here the whole time. It was just 2 people at first, so little by little we'll get more and more. I'll keep putting the live streams out on Twitter, Instagram. I share them on Facebook all the time. People show up, it's cool. If not, they don't have to show up. I don't really care. You can do what you want, man. It's your world. Do what you think. But there's some people on here lurking for sure. So anyway, we'll see y'all on the next one. I'll see y'all in the Telegram group. And until then.